Welcome back, true believers and all you merry Marvelites, to another very interesting episode of Marvel's Avengers 101. So currently, at the time of this recording, we are now exactly 2 days away until Marvel's Avengers releases worldwide for the early access version of the game, primarily in regards to both the Collector's Edition as well as the Deluxe Edition. And alongside of that, we also have the Standard Edition releasing on the 4th of September in exactly 5 days. Not to mention that even though it will technically be launch day on September 1st, there's also going to be another War Table presentation on that same day as well. And specifically for that upcoming War Table presentation, we are going to get a bit of an insight as to exactly what content we can expect in the game post-launch. Plus, we're also going to be receiving some insights as to exactly how the Avengers gameplay loops are going to operate, as well as future glimpses at other mission types. And to top it all off, we're also going to see another hero be revealed within the Marvel's Avengers roster, which of course is going to be a major factor within the Avengers Initiative program taking place post-launch. And knowing that we already have some pretty solid confirmation of other heroes to be existing within the Avengers world, like that of Hawkeye, Spider-Man, and a bunch of other characters data mined within leaks, it's going to be very intriguing to see exactly who is going to be revealed during this War Table presentation. And even though we're surely going to receive a lot more information on the day of the War Table presentation, Square Enix themselves decided to release an entire blog post on their website going over everything that we need to know about weekly play mechanics within Marvel's Avengers. Now, even though we have already covered some of these previous gameplay mechanics in other videos, it does dive a bit deeper into exactly what they're going to fully entail by the time the complete game releases. And primarily, this directly relates to factors that will be featured within the game, like that of new content post-launch, vendor and marketplace rotation mechanics, as well as the initial discussion point that we are going to begin with is in fact events. So considering the fact that Marvel's Avengers is indeed a live service online game which players can continue to interact with for years to come, some of these gameplay loops within the game have a more immediate and ongoing impact on how you'll play, where in this case, events are one way we're keeping the Avengers Initiative fresh and new. Some events will take place over a week, and others will be seasonal. Some will have cosmetics and gear that are only available to earn for a limited time. And in case you haven't figured it out already, this is exactly where the looting and grinding elements of Marvel's Avengers are going to take place front and center. Based on what we played in the beta alone, in my opinion, there were a lot of repetitive missions taking place throughout the entirety of the Warzone mechanics. Simply going into an area and beating up aim robots isn't really going to be all that fun after you've done that same mission over and over and over again. And considering that the rewards that you get for completing these missions are nothing more than gear pieces that you can't even see on your character, which simply translate to mere stat sheets for each hero that you end up playing as, along with the customization system which doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it, I personally can see this game getting old really fast. However, I'm still hoping that the newer additions that will be included within this game, like that of future heroes, other regions, brand new missions, and the supposed events, may in fact add some variety that a lot of players are looking for. For starters, we do have modified missions and new mission modes. To begin with the former, each week we will designate priority missions and priority harm challenges that offer up unique rewards for completing them with an assortment of modifiers. And as for the latter, two new mission types will debut shortly after launch. One that focuses on co-op play and will only appear over the weekend, and another that uses your full roster of heroes in a challenging gauntlet of solo play. And even though this was previously confirmed in another article post, but I do believe that they're specifically talking about the mode of raids. Now, if you managed to watch my review for the Marvel's Avengers beta, then you would know that one of the best elements of this game is obviously playing it together with your friends. Simply put, Marvel's Avengers is an online co-op brawler first and foremost, whereas the single-player element of the game isn't really designed as the core factor of this experience. And yes, even though the single-player campaign is surely a part of the whole experience, the majority amount of time that you're going to be spending in this game is where you're going to be jumping in and jumping out of these Warzone missions with your online partners. So if they can add in the other mission varieties like drop zones, war zones, villain sectors, and raids, as well as possible other modes down the line, is going to be very interesting to see how this experience turns out a couple years after launch. And again, while it is great that all these added features for the game are going to be included at no additional cost, these future factors is where we start to get in a bit of a concerning territory. So to go out of order on this list, we're going to start off with assignments, then community challenges, and the massively controversial hero challenge cards. And just as a spoiler alert, the hero challenge cards are easily going to be the least appealing aspect of this game. game. But mainly in the realm of assignments, Marvel's Avengers features various factions, each with their own in-game vendors. SHIELD and Inhuman vendors will give you daily and weekly assignments that help increase your faction level. The higher your faction level, the more gear and artifacts that faction vendor will give you access to. Faction items rotate daily and weekly. Make sure to go grab all of your faction dailies when you log in, because they can be completed as you play through other missions. And as for community challenges, which we did previously cover in another video, these weekly challenges ask the global player base to team up to achieve a specific goal, such as destroying 500,000 synthoids. When completed, the entire player base receives a unique reward, such as nameplates, reserved for those weekly challenges. And specifically for that particular platform user, once a month, PlayStation players will get an exclusive community challenge. Now again, just as a heads up, definitely expect a lot of grinding to take place within Marvel's Avengers after you complete the main story, simply going from warzone to warzone defeating enemies. And based on everything that we actually got to play for ourselves within the beta, I wasn't all too fond as to exactly what the structure of Marvel's Avengers entailed after you beat the primary assets that are in the game. However, the assignments and community challenges sections are much more minuscule in comparison to the much larger problem at hand with that of the Hero Challenge cards, which, in case you don't know, are essentially battle passes within Marvel's Avengers. And as I'm sure all of you have seen by now, these battle passes are actually going to be completely free for the 6 main heroes at launch. However, you will in fact have to pay for each individual battle pass for future heroes down the line at a total rate of $10. And as for an insight as to exactly how those will operate, daily and weekly challenges help you earn points to progress and unlock content for your Hero Challenge cards. As with faction assignments, hero card challenges can be completed as you play through other missions. But what they don't tell you is the massive amount of money that you'll essentially have to pay for with these down the line. Now yes, I am fully aware that you can play through these Hero Challenge cards at your own free will just by grinding through the game and making progress as you complete missions. However, as it was previously stated, these Hero Challenge cards do have daily and weekly challenges which rotate over time. It's also in the layer of a tier system, so if there's a specific cosmetic item that you do want within the challenge card, you can try to grind through several hours of playtime just to unlock one particular item, or primarily what Square Enix is encouraging you to do is spend real-life money just to unlock that particular cosmetic. Now again, it's great that they are including heroes, regions, and future missions at a total price of $0 for absolutely free for years to come. And for a live service game, they obviously have to make their money back one way or another. But considering that you're already going to be buying a massive AAA Avengers game at launch for a total price of $60, possibly more if you purchase one of the other editions, as well as the other 15 to 20 plus heroes included within the game down the line, with other battle passes that you need to unlock by simply paying for them, this essentially turns into a money cash grab system, and I really am not fond as to exactly how Marvel's Avengers is structured in that manner. It's a really good thing that I don't care all that much about cosmetic items within games, because considering that you actually have to pay money to simply unlock the battle pass rather than just paying for the items if you want to out of your own free will, just seems a bit scummy in my opinion. And knowing that they're going to do the exact same thing for extremely popular characters within Marvel's Avengers like that of Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and especially Spider-Man, just brace yourselves for a lot of backlash from the community once they do actually start implementing these brand new characters. Because considering the amount of backlash it's currently getting now before the game is even released, I can tell you it's only going to get worse from here. And trust me, if we start to see the same type of business model be inputted within other superhero games down the line, especially with that of the future Marvel and Square Enix published games that will be developed down the line with their multi-year multi-game partnership, or even worse is if that system were to be inputted in other major superhero games like that of Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, or even Miles Morales PS5, the fan feedback that would receive is easily going to be less than positive. But moving on with the article is where we start to get into more of the Destiny and Anthem mechanics with that of vendors and the marketplace. So as I discussed previously, the marketplace rotation system is going to refresh on a weekly basis, with new rewards added each time. These rewards can either be earned with in-game currency or your real-life money with that of microtransactions. And this doesn't just relate to the marketplace, but also the type of currency that you'll be spending in the vendors, where in this case, in-game gear vendors have an inventory that rotates once per hour, so there's always something unique to shop for. Cosmetic vendors have a stock of outfits, emotes, and nameplates that rotate once per day, although legendary outfits stick around for the full week. So considering knowing that items like that of the Hero Challenge cards are going to be worth $10 for each hero, I can only imagine the amount of money that's going to cost for these specific suits within the game. In case you forgot, it was previously confirmed by Scott Amos himself, who's the head of Crystal Dynamics, that there will be, in fact, certain cosmetic items within Marvel's Avengers that can only be unlocked with the use of microtransactions. So if that relates to legendary nameplates, epic emotes, rare takedowns, or really interesting cosmetic attires overall, that is going to be one hell of a disappointing consumer marketing decision. Especially, just as a worst case scenario, if they end up including the MCU suits as only unlockable through the use of microtransactions, I can assure you the community at large is going to be wholeheartedly pissed. And the reason why these vendors are having daily and hourly rewards is because, of course, they want to encourage players to continuously play the game non-stop, to keep grinding through experience and getting rewards at a daily basis. This is obviously in regards to try and increase the game's longevity, and as to whether or not that's actually going to work properly is something we're just gonna have to wait and see on. Based on everything that has been described so far, I'm not really digging the overall aesthetic structure as to how Marvel's Avengers is being built, and doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence as to exactly what the final product will be. Although the one saving grace out of this whole article is discussing exactly what type of new content will be added in the game post-launch. So again, this information is going to be fully discussed upon during the upcoming War Table presentation, but we do get some slight insights right here within this article, with that of outposts and operations. First, outposts are explorable places with friendly faces and unique vendors, so what I'm assuming is basically your base of operations, like that of the Chimera, the Anthill, and possibly other bases we'll see down the line. And to finalize this article here, we previously talked a lot about missions, but have been intentionally secretive about operations. Tune in to the launch edition of Marvel's Avengers War Table to get the scoop on operations, and the new hero that will debut with our first operation drop. And again, whether or not that hero will be a heavy hitting character like that of Black Panther or Doctor Strange, or possibly someone a bit more unexpected like that of Scarlet Witch, or maybe seeing what Spider-Man looks like finally within this game's universe, is something we're just gonna have to wait and see on. In the end, everyone, I can't really say that I'm all that hyped for Marvel's Avengers after reading this article, and if anything, my skepticism for the game has increased pretty heavily. However, I am willing to give this entire game a shot because I really want to believe it could be a great game at launch and an even better game after all the content is added down the line. But to be honest, the entire challenge card system sounds completely ridiculous to me, and I'm really not digging how the overall gear aesthetics is simply that of simple stat sheets. The amount of depth that Marvel's Avengers seems to have is pretty much next to none, but I really hope that this new content added within the game can turn the tides for me personally. But until that time comes, everyone, that's the video I have for you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. What do you think about all this news relating to the weekly gameplay loops within Marvel's Avengers, and are you more or less excited for the game after learning all about them? Honestly, I don't really have a lot more to say about this game at this point, and whether or not this upcoming War Table presentation is going to make me less or more hyped is something I'm still pretty concerned about. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see until September 1st to find out for sure. And until next time, everyone, thank you all so much for watching, stay merry Marvelites, and peace out.
So, here we are. Avengers assembled. Who are you people again?